Your path is layered with purpose. I'm Sabirah Rayford. This is For the Girls, Women on the Rise.
To think that I would be doing this nowadays, back then it was unthinkable.
Her baton is signaling sounds of subversion.
The vast majority of conductors that we saw were male.
She is one of 2 women at the top of her field.
It's not fair to ask a woman to choose between a career and family.
In charge of what's considered the most complex instrument ever invented. It's a story orchestrated by fate.
And I felt like I've been somehow led by some larger force.
Then,
I just felt off. I wasn't myself.
an Army veteran goes from the front lines of service to the front lines of motherhood.
I like to say when you're pregnant, you are held on a pedestal. But after you give birth, you're invisible.
And it would be her biggest battle yet.
There was a split second where I thought to myself, what if I just end it all right here?
How she's now helping to save lives off the battlefield.
And I want to continue to do that so that everyone can get the care that they deserve.
And
We are on the rise and on the move to the city of love.
it's the hub for the future of AI and tech. We're going one-on-one with a few women disrupting the status quo, including Seattle's own Phoebe Gates.
I was a little nervous before. I'm feeling great now.
In the world of music, the orchestra is considered the pinnacle of collective discipline and the gold standard of technical skill. For a long time, men made up 96% of the top roles in the industry. Zhang is a woman whose purpose is prevailing past discouraging statistics. The Grammy and Emmy-winning conductor is back at Benaroya Hall, and this time the podium is hers. A first in Seattle Symphony's 123-year history.
Under the purple hues at Benaroya Hall, 2 stories are unfolding on stage. One with sounds of grief, Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition. The other with feelings of a rebirth.
I always feel like I'm serving the music.
Zhang is the storyteller of both.
On stage, it's not me.
So gather around this concert hall.
On stage, what's happening is what the music demands of me.
And you'll get a sneak peek into a new era for the Seattle Symphony.
It's been just so overwhelmingly positive.
I heard you felt like a rock star.
I probably should have said that, but it's true.
Her presence is undeniable.
A vivacious, bubbly personality, I would say.
Just as concertmaster Noah Geller.
We used to have a microphone for the conductors so that people could hear what the conductor was saying if they were speaking too softly, but the microphone is off now.
Shin's bravado carries beyond her voice. The energy of her movements bellows past her baton, tracing her way through the whispers of wonder to the pound of percussion.
To think that I would be doing this nowadays, back then it was unthinkable.
Initially, she found comfort among the keys.
My mom borrowed a sort of a pipe organ thing that you have to use your foot to use the pedal to create the air to produce sound. I started on that thing with her. I was sitting on her lap. I couldn't reach I was so young, 2.5 maybe.
Then she fell in love with the piano, practicing 6 to 8 hours a day.
What happened at music school? What changed?
Look at my hand. My hands are I'm not very tall, and my hands are I don't reach very, very far. Some people reach like a 12 or 11. My best is a 9 keys.
She was cast aside.
He said, I wish you find something, to do with your talents. You can be a composer, or you can be, it's just your hands are not too big. I wasn't enough power-wise as a concert pianist.
The rejection redirected her to her first mentor and a chance to lead a performance, this time from center front stage.
Absolutely zero experience, but I did know the music. And she knew that, and she gave me the very first chance to make a conducting debut.
She trusted you.
Yeah, I think so. But even at the time, I thought it was like a joke. Like how could it be? Like I could be conducting so many people with the choir, everything together, with a professional orchestra, not even a school orchestra, under me, because I have literally never really faced a real orchestra. For a 20-year-old, that was impossible.
But for the first time in her life, her path felt clear.
It kept coming at me, these kind of snowballed, these opportunities.
From her mother's lap to the world stage, her career crescendoed with stops at some of the top concert halls around the world, a rare repertoire for a female conductor, especially one of color.
Vast majority of conductors that we saw were male.
According to the League of American Orchestras, as of 2025, nearly 86% of music directors were male, 72% were white. Women are also more likely to be appointed to music director roles in small or medium-sized markets. When it comes to the top 25 largest orchestras in the country, Shin is one of 2 women currently at that level.
I had 2 female conducting teachers. So to me, to a young girl, I thought, okay, they are both women and I am too. They're teaching me, I do what they taught me. I thought that was natural, normal. Not until much later, I looked around and realized I was pretty much the only one who's doing this actually, as a female conductor. And that's the moment I realized, oh my goodness, what is happening? How come I never thought about this?
Now she makes sure to pay it forward.
I always think to give these younger musicians the chance to grow, invite them, let them perform, give them the space to shine.
Creating a new path.
Absolutely. If we don't create, and then it stays the same way, the next generation, it's harder for them to come through.
It's illuminated not only through words, but her power personifying the music.
When I look at her face when we're performing together, she's always got like a little smile in the eyes, and I can see that she's absorbed in the music, and that makes me want to do the same.
He says he looks at you and he sees you smiling with your eyes.
When I'm in a good mood, I guess. I'm always in a good mood.
As you're conducting, he says.
I was told one time when I was much younger, a conducting teacher said, you need to express music with your eyes. I was in my, early 20s. I heard it was like, oh. And back then I didn't quite, I actually think if you get the music to a certain level, you really get it and you deeply feel what it means to you.
Redefining her story. It's ironic, really, going from the girl who was told her reach would never be large enough to a woman whose influence reaches around the world.
I felt like I've been somehow led by some larger force, not myself, to be going on this path, which is fantastic. I'm learning to enjoy it more and more.
Shin's tenure with the Seattle Symphony is just warming up. They recently announced plans for the 2026-2027 season, which will celebrate the rich landscapes of the Pacific Northwest. We have a link to the official calendar on our website, fox13seattle.com/forthegirls.
As a woman, you grow up reading all these fairy tales, how a knight in shining armor is going to come in and save us. But today was about, no, we don't need anybody to save us. We got to save ourselves.
Self-confidence, hard work, and finding connection in community. They're important pillars for many women in the workforce, especially as the frontier of artificial intelligence changes and grows. At the TEDx Belltown Women event themed My Hero's Journey, there was a laser focus on the importance of safety and responsibility responsibility within the use of artificial intelligence.
I also would love people to take away that obviously with all this opportunity we have to be mindful about the risk and therefore be intentional as humans, as only humans can be right now, to actually decide when and how we use all this amazing technology.
With a topic as complex as AI, it can be easy to get lost in the technical terms. But for these leaders of the industry, it's all about breaking it down into bite-sized pieces.
I will ask AI to be like, hey, what are some body weight things I can do in my small apartment space? Boom, fitness, right? Hey, recipes. I have 3 kids. I need leftovers. Can you help me redo this recipe, right? So when you're using it for these things kind of become like life hacks, right? So the more clarity you have going into what that starter kit is, I always tell people that, let's take the magic and mystery out of these technologies. It's a job that you want it to do for you, right?
For Liz Galloway, the organizer of the event, bridging the gap and connecting women involved in advanced industries has been a game changer. In her mind, there's no such thing as an uninformed question.
We had laughter, we had everything going in the audience because those talks were really powerful, and it is about diving in internally and finding the hero in the unexpected places and the courage to bring it out and talk about it.
Coming up, this soldier's toughest mission would it be while serving our country?
Nothing was harder than postpartum.
How she's serving a solution, helping mothers conquer the unexpected. We've all heard the phrase, it takes a village, but in today's fast-paced world, that village can be difficult to find. Pregnancy is often billed as one of the most precious and rewarding chapters of a person's life. But the reality of the postpartum experience can be overwhelming, lonely, and physically exhausting. According to the CDC, 1 in 8 women report postpartum depression. More than half of those people do not receive treatment. I'm excited to introduce you to a woman working to change that. Stephanie Foley is the founder and chief mom at UZ Care. It's a groundbreaking platform providing parents with clinical and emotional support during this 4th trimester. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to get into your app and how that works shortly. But first, I want to start with you. You were an Army veteran, and Army veterans are often trained to face the battlefield, trained to face resilience and prepare for anything. But there was something you couldn't prepare for in your personal life. Take me back to that time.
Yeah, I think I have all the markers of being a tough individual, right? I'm an immigrant, grew up in New York City with a single mom, so got that street smarts. Went to West Point, one of the few women there, and then served for about a decade, both in combat as well as stateside. Then worked at tech companies, being one of the few women as well, and nothing was harder than postpartum. After I had my second child, I actually didn't know, but I had postpartum depression. And we know that 85% of women in America experience some kind of perinatal mood anxiety disorder. And it took an intervention from my friends and family to say, hey, what is going on? And it wasn't immediate. It was about, a year and 2 years after the birth of my child, yeah.
What can we do to help assist?
Yeah, I think.
What should we be watching out for?
In terms of markers of irregularity with the new mom or birthing person, I would say it's important to just notice that if something with them is off. Actually, my partner was the one that spotted that I was off because. When
you say off, if you don't mind sharing, what was that moment?
Yeah, there was a moment where on a Friday night, I was driving from Seattle to Tacoma with 2 babies in the back, just so that they could fall asleep. They were crying, I was crying, and there was a split second where I thought to myself, what if I just end it all right here, right? And for me, that was a wake-up call for me. That I was like, oh my goodness, I need help. And interestingly enough, I still didn't get help until my friends told me and my family members told me that I needed help. So I think it's important to recognize, but also like have that, you know, your village to be like, hey, maybe it's time. Like, how do we help you? That intervention, yeah.
What were some of those initial first signs that really started to stick out to you or your loved ones?
Yeah, I think the symptoms are very acute, right? So you're not having a heart attack or having a stroke, but the symptoms are so acute in a way that I didn't know that, I just felt off. I wasn't myself. And I don't know if you know this, but postpartum is the biggest hormonal shift a human can experience in their life, more than menopause, more than anything else. And so, and we're just expected to operate business as usual. And so for me, I didn't know I had this anxiety and this depression, and I was just operating like how I did before I had my children. So.
And parents spend 9 months preparing for this pregnancy, and then you go to the hospital, you have your baby. Yep. Why do you think that the healthcare system essentially drops the ball after having that child and having that baby?
Yeah, I like to say, when you're pregnant, you are held on a pedestal, but after you give birth, you're invisible. Wow. Because all the attention gets redirected, moms included. We redirect our care and attention to the baby rather than ourselves. And what we like to say at UZ-Care is self-care is baby care. And oftentimes, it's not just the healthcare systems, it's our culture. We're not taking care of ourselves in a meaningful way.
Okay, so for the mothers watching who feel like they're drowning, tell us about UZ-Care and how it helps and how it can offer some solutions for these new parents and moms.
Yeah, so our platform, we vet perinatal care specialists, and so that we're creating a bridge for them to connect. And it's a transparent platform where moms can discover, book, and manage their perinatal care experience from the beginning of creating a care plan to actually finding the right perinatal care provider that they want, all in one place, and actually pay for it. And if there's rescheduling, all of that stuff occurs on the platform.
When you look back at your journey, being the mom in that car to now with your 2 amazing kids, this amazing booming business, how do you feel?
I've had a lot of careers in my life, and I think the thing that drives me is purpose, change, and making an impact on people's lives. And coming from a lived experience of surviving postpartum and, making postpartum accessible to everyone, regardless of your color, gender, zip code, socioeconomic background, is my mission, and I feel very proud to have served families, and I want to continue to do that so that everyone can get the care that they deserve.
Oh, wonderfully said. From the front lines of service to the front lines of motherhood. Stephanie Foley, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
UZ-Care was chosen by the South by Southwest Austin Festival as a pitch finalist in its 2026 competition. It's a coveted recognition thousands of new business owners apply for each year.
Coming up, we're going on the road to San Francisco. In the tech world, the Gates name carries a lot of weight, and you're about to meet a woman who's trying to keep it that way.
She's the daughter of Bill Gates, but she's not gatekeeping her ideas for the future in the tech world. Phoebe Gates wants you to think less about her last name and more about the new app she's co-founded called Fia. It's described as an app that can find the best prices in fashion for more than 40,000 sites. We caught up with her and the app's co-founder at the TechCrunch Disrupt conference in California. They're narrowed in on their female-founded business.
At a tech conference considered to be a gateway of sorts, the Gates name, yes, that Gates, synonymous with tech in Seattle, is getting a Gen Z rebrand.
You look amazing. I love it.
Backstage, the Seattle freeze was nowhere to be felt. Instead, Seattle area native Phoebe Gates and Sophia Kiani are helping thaw the perspective on female friends turned tech co-founders.
I said you guys pair so well together. You guys are like just bounce off each other. Where does that energy come from?
From living in a box together when we were roommates at Stanford.
You could call it a perfect fit. They share a love for fashion, global activism, and advocacy. Phoebe interning with partners in health in Rwanda, working on healthcare initiatives for the developing country. Sophia, an Iranian-American who became the youngest United Nations advisor in U.S. history. Still, they believe
it was a random pairing.
That random pairing led to a class project, a blossoming friendship, a mutual commitment to sustainability in fashion, and the discovery of Fia, an AI shopping agent named after the pair. It also came with the cast of doubt.
When we were at Stanford and we first told people, when we were roommates together and everyone's like, oh great, you guys are best friends, that's fine and dandy. But when we flipped to this, we're gonna actually start a business together, I had multiple professors pull me aside and say, oh, you shouldn't do that. Less than 2% of VC funding goes to, two female founders or a solo female founded business. That to me is absolutely criminal.
Let's take a closer look at those numbers. According to a 2025 report by Founders Forum Group, out of the $289 billion of venture capital invested globally in 2024, female-only founded teams received $6.7 billion. So, female-founded companies received 2.3% of capital, even though they represented 6.4% of the market. And the size of the deals paled in comparison to their male counterparts. The average deal size for female-only founded companies was $5.2 million, while male-only founded companies on average received more than double the funding at $11.7 million.
It's really important to realize it's very hard to be something that you cannot see.
We see those people, whether that's, Instagram being created, TikTok, those people are actually creating new world visions. So if only 2% of that is going towards female founders, then we're not seeing all these incredible world visions that women have coming to life. The flip side of thinking about that is an incredible market opportunity. Think about how many different pain points there are in the female consumer journey.
And that's part of how Fia was born.
Essentially, as you're shopping, it helps you understand, should you buy the item that you're looking at, or does a better option exist?
They say the idea is to shop trending styles and deals across more than 40,000 sites. It uses artificial intelligence to compare the resale value of an item, track shoppers' purchase history, and then it makes recommendations based on the customer's shopping patterns.
That's where we move towards discovery, where we'll be able to have a digital closet for our users in the app.
Since launching in April of 2025, the app has garnered more than 700,000 users. This after $8 million was raised in a seed round of funding led by venture capital firm Kleiner Perkins. The fashion app also got investments from notable names like Kris Jenner, Hailey Bieber, and Spanx founder Sarah Blakely.
Obviously, your name, your last name carries a lot of weight. What's it been like trying to mend and mold your own path?
I think honestly, having my last name is a huge privilege. I mean, my college was absolutely paid for it. That was something I never had to consider. I knew my parents would support me no matter what I did. And so I think it's really important to say yeah, carving my own path is important, but it comes with so much privilege for me to have that last name, right? And people are willing to, take conversations with me where if I didn't have that last name, they probably wouldn't, let's be honest.
Phoebe says her work ethic and dedication to making the company a success speaks for itself.
The reality is our metrics and our numbers of retention of once you are using our product for 2 months, do you still use Fia every single time you go shopping? That can't be melded by having a last name or having a parents with a legacy. Building a real product that's actually sticky, I mean, the numbers do not lie. And so for me, it's really about focusing on that. That's really core.
They both say it's also important to have the right people by your side.
I think I got really lucky, right? I grew up in Seattle where this is going. So I had some great friends from there who have always stuck with me. And the reality is, keep the people that you're close with, you trust them.
From friends to founders, like their sense of fashion, Phoebe and Sophia's business relationship is proving to be more classic than fad. Two women working to open the floodgates to help women in tech rise to the top.
And the fact that such few women are going out to try and raise venture funding, to try and build these companies, it really means we need to start with the basics of education and also having more women feel like they can be supported and that they have other women that they can rely on who can help propel them forward.
According to an article by TechCrunch, Fia closed a $35 million funding round led by Notable Capital. We are always searching for incredible women to feature. If you have someone you'd like to highlight, please reach out to me at sabirah.rayford@fox.com. This has been For the Girls, Women on the Rise. We'll see you next time. Keep rising.